Hello and welcome to Research Matters podcasts. Today I, Aishwarya Vishwamitra, will give you a summary of science stories that were published during the week on Research Matters. In your weekly dose of Indian science news today, I cover stories on ecology and health. In this series, we have talked about lifestyle diseases and their effects numerous times. Obesity and hypertension is a growing concern, and it comes as no surprise that there is constant, ongoing research pertaining to them. But what about obesity and hypertension in children and adolescents in India? Well, a study done by researchers from India and the UK provides some insights on these two diseases among adolescents and children in northern India. Carried out in both urban and rural schools in Ludhiana, Punjab, the study found that children with hypertension had significantly high BMI. More than a quarter of students who were obese had hypertension, and the prevalence of this combination was more in urban school children. When compared to a similar study in 2004, it was clear that the prevalence rates had increased, indicating growing health risks. But why is this happening? The researchers attribute this to a sedentary lifestyle and change in eating habits. After all, excess salt intake was shown to increase hypertension in obese children. This study was limited to a small localized sample set, but the findings are still concerning. As with most diseases, prevention and early detection should be ensured to prevent risk of cardiovascular diseases in adults. Last week, we looked at the mismatch between actual tiger numbers and reported tiger numbers in India. While tigers remain a concern conservation-wise, the Asiatic lions present a totally different problem. Their numbers have apparently surged from 50 to 500 over the last century. Amazing! However, given the high density of lions in the small Gir National Park, the lions have started dispersing to neighboring villages and causing human-lion conflicts. A study done by the Wildlife Institute of India, Dehradun, has found that for every 100 square kilometers, an average of 9 lions are found. Not enough space. The researchers used a reliable scientific approach by which they individually identified each lion by looking at their whisker patterns and permanent body marks so as to prevent double counts. They originally thought that the lion density would be most where the prey density was. But instead, it was found that the lion density was highest near tourist hotspots. Authorities dump dead livestock in the tourist zone so as to minimize predators near the pastures and maximize lion sightings. This affects the lion's behavioral traits. The young lions therefore lack the skills to hunt, so when they do move out, they attack livestock as they are easy targets. This ill-informed strategy needs to be reversed, and better conservation strategies to avoid human-lion conflicts needs to be put in place. Though you won't see lions throughout India, if I ask you to name a few bird species that you've seen, crows and pigeons will definitely be on the list. Speaking of lists, a report titled State of India's Birds provides insights into the bird diversity and population in India. This report is a first of its kind because it is the result of a collaboration between 10 research and conservation organizations within the country and utilized over 10 million bird observations collected by over 15,500 bird watchers, a mega citizen science project for sure. The report has been able to identify 101 species that need conservation, such as raptor species including various vultures, water bird species like shorebirds, and long-distance migratory birds. But all is not lost. The Indian peafowl has increased in abundance, and the house sparrow population has stabilized over the last 2 decades, but have fallen in the metro cities. If you haven't tried the eBird app and want to try your hand at birdwatching, I definitely recommend it. That data you submit is documented and used in research such as this very report. Though the framing of policies to help conserve these species is out of our hands, we can do our part by contributing to these monitoring programs, of which there are so many, be it the Great Backyard Bird Count or the Bird Monitoring Program. We need to help and involve ourselves so that these programs can translate into conservation. Thank you for listening to this episode of Research Matters podcast. See you next weekend. For more such science news and podcasts, please log on to www.researchmatters.in.